So, good morning to you all, and this is an instruction course on pediatric ophthalmology, basically management of refractive errors in children. And with me, I have Dr. Bhola from California, USA. He would be giving a keynote address, a short keynote address of 8 minutes on um, pharmacological intervention for myopia control. So we start with Dr. Rahul Bhola. Welcome, Dr. Rahul. And yeah, 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 sure, sure, sure.
And let's see. Okay. ठीक.
ये जो थे वो भी गए.
Well, a very good morning to all of you who are here, and thank you so much for inviting me to present this talk. So, as we all know that over the last 2 decades, myopia has transitioned from a refractive inconvenience to a structural ocular disease requiring proactive intervention. Today, I will discuss the current evidence and future landscape of pharmacological intervention for myopia control. So while we are all familiar with the staggering global rise in myopia prevalence, this is not merely an epidemic statistic. It is a public health and an economic challenge. The direct global cost of myopia management already exceeds hundreds of billions of dollars and continue to rise exponentially. Even more concerning are the indirect costs related from the vision related complications from myopia. I'm also included this myopia consensus statement, a small resource for you guys where you can actually go to that, and there are multiple resources available both for the patients and the family and the doctors to make use of. So with increasing urbanization and technological dependence, lifestyle and behavioral changes have significantly influenced the earlier onset and faster progression of myopia. Just as weight loss medication will not be effective without dietary control, no pharmacological intervention for myopia will achieve optimal efficacy without behavioral modification. So outdoor time, near work regulation, and digital hygiene remains very pivotal pillars to treat myopia. There is a universal shift towards younger onset of myopia. Earlier onset results in prolonged progression and a higher lifetime risk of high myopia and its sequelae. Recent data suggests that irrespective of the level of myopia, the incidence of retinal detachment, there is a tenfold higher risk in myopic versus non-myopic children. In addition, accelerated progression is seen during puberty, and you have to, that's why, do a prolonged therapy and individualized treatment for these patients for a long time. While multiple pharmacological approaches have been explored, only atropine and historically pirenzepine have demonstrated meaningful slowing of myopia progression. Even though the exact mechanism of atropine in slowing myopia progression is still debatable, its action appears to be multifactorial by the modulation of retinal neurotransmitters, influence on choroidal flow, and effect on the scleral remodeling by inhibiting the fibroblast activities. Emerging evidence also implicates inflammatory mediators in this pathogenesis of myopia. This opens the door for future targeted therapies beyond muscarinic receptor blockade. So the evolution of ATOM 1 and ATOM 2 studies categorically established strong evidence that myopia progression can be slowed pharmacologically by using atropine eye drops. They also demonstrated that lower dose regimens after meaningful efficacy with reduced rebound and fewer side effects over long-term follow-up when compared to higher doses. However, it was the LAMP study that truly changed the global practice pattern of myopia treatment for many of us. By comparing the 0.05, 0.025, and 0.1% of atropine eye drops in a placebo-controlled design, LAMP demonstrated a clear concentration-dependent response. It also showed that younger children required higher concentration to achieve similar control, supporting earlier and appropriately dosed interventions. So across 5 phases, 0.05% atropine consistently provided sustained efficacy over 5 years. The 5 year data from phase 4 showed that 0.05% offers the best long term control. If therapy was stopped after 3 years, many children actually required restarting the treatment. And restarting 0.05% performed as well as continuous therapy. The 7 year phase 5 data further suggested that structured tapering reduced rebound compared to abrupt cessation, reinforcing the importance of long term planning. More recently, there have been a lot of global studies like Mosaic study, which confirmed the efficacy of 0.05% atropine over 3 years in a European population. In contrast, the CHAMP study, which was conducted across North America and Europe, demonstrated modest benefit with 0.01% atropine and only axial length but not refractive benefits with 0.02%. And the PEDIC study in the US showed that no significant myopia control effect was seen with 0.01%. While there were a lot of methodological nuances with all these studies, but the theme was common that 0.05% is the one that works, has the best efficacy and the least side effect ratio. So a couple of well-designed Indian studies also showed 0.01% atropine to be effective in reducing myopia progression over 2 years period, and more recently demonstrated 0.05% as an effective treatment for children with rapidly progressive myopia. Adjunctive areas under investigation include caffeine metabolites and nutritional supplements like lutein and zeaxanthin. While evidence remains mixed, metabolic and nutritional pathways may represent future avenues for integrated management. So there is also growing interest in combination therapies integrating optical and pharmacological interventions. Early data suggest additive benefits, although long-term evidence remains still limited. Nonetheless, optical interventions clearly play an important role in slowing myopia progression. So the current evidence, current body of evidence overwhelmingly support that low dose atropine works, though it is age, dose and population dependent. There is a consistent signal that 0.05% atropine produces optimal balance between efficacy and safety. It's better to start myopia management, including risk stratification behavior education at the earliest possible opportunity. Benefits greatest before axial length trajectory sets in. So it treat myopia as a multi-year disease with reassessment of the disease, its risk factors, effectiveness of management, compliance to therapy and child's quality of life at every follow-up visit. So be it pharmacological, optical, or a combination of the two, the management must be individualized. Factors such as compliance, socio-economic context, and quality of life are often underreported and undervalued, yet they are very critically important in real-world success. So looking forward, the future of myopia management will revolve around these 3 Ps: precision, personalization, and prevention. The next 5 year will likely bring advances in mechanism-driven drug innovation, improved formulation with precision dosing, and structured combination therapies, and we will see a lot of AI-enabled risk stratification models in future. Well, thank you so much for your kind attention. Yes, Ashish.
No, we're going to have questions at the end of this session, please. Please note down your questions and we'll have discussion on this because these are all very burning topics. Uh, I have already said good morning to you all, but still, I repeat it again. Uh, See, all my life, for practicing pediatric of my almost 40 years now, I have seen that, the refraction and the prescription of glasses in children. बस बेटा बस सामने सट जाओ इधर से देखना. The prescription of glasses in children is a different cup of tea. It's very different from what you give in an adult, even up to 16 or 18 years of age. And even today, now, I was retired from there, but I'm still practicing. I have my own hospital, and in half of Rajasthan, I have my students. They have been sending patients to me, And I was surprised, amazed, and disgusted, because the way they are giving spectacles to children. And then, the problem of late problems, then amblyopia is already developed, and there's a lot of symptoms with the child. Some children in the villages have dropped from school. So this is something which is very important, and wherever I go, in all so many conferences, even now, I always give this lecture, apart from other things. Now, before you start, examine of children, you should know a natural history of refractive development in a child. And what is that? You see, from birth to 6 years, this is a very critical period for all types of development of the eye, not only refractive, but also other types of development of the eye. So this is the most critical period of visual development and emmetropization. Now, what is emmetropization? Which is you should all have to know about this. So emmetropization is a natural process of development of the eye, where the eye assumes a state of no refractive error. This is something which is a natural process. This process is known to be visually guided. Visually guided means, though you have signals from the eye, where the image forms, how does the image forms, what is the clarity of the image, and these signals go to the brain, and you have the reverse input now, which makes the development of the eye to the process of emmetropization. Now, the visually guided signals are dependent upon, what does it mean? I'll just clarify it. Because this is an instruction course, I'm going a little slow, so we have a lot of time, and you please note. I know you would have a lot of questions of pediatric ophthalmology, but we can have the answers, the questions later on. Now, the quality of focus of image on the retina. This is very important, because the process of amblyopia also is dependent on that. So, what does the focus mean? Then hyperopic and myopic defocus. You see, the image must fall on the retina, on the fovea. If it falls behind, you got a hyperopic defocus. If it falls in front, we get it myopic defocus. Now, and of course, the genetic interplay is all there. Now, what happens in this interplay? Wherever the image will form, whether it's behind or in front, the signal goes to the brain, and the changes in the development of the eye, or the axial length of the eye starts. Now, what happens? The eye can only grow, it cannot shorten again. It only grows, whether it is myopic or hyperopic. Myopic, lot of interplay, it's a very big subject. So, but it tries to grow beyond the natural this thing. So, so you have to, the things are, what is the emmetropization I told you. Now, we are talking of a natural now history, that you have to understand how the eye develops, and then how the refractive errors develop then. There is a general agreement that most infants are hyperopic at birth, and the cycloplegic refraction is approximately 2 to 2.5D. This hyperopia decreases rapidly by first year and gradually by 3 to 4 years, when the eye becomes emmetrope. Right? Though in some cases the reduction continues even up to 12 years of life, depending upon the amount of hyperopia. There is also a higher prevalence of astigmatism in a baby at birth, of one diopter or more. All types of astigmatism is seen. You know what the types of astigmatism we have, which normally disappear by 4 years of life. 30% of the newborns also have anisometropia, which again disappears by 4 or 5 years of age. This transient anisometropia is due to different rates of emmetropization between the two eyes. Child is not born myopic. Remember always this. If so, if it happens that a child is born myopic, then that is a bad sign. Bad sign that may progress to pathological myopia. Now, what is the importance of this natural history of development of the eye? Now, the bottom line is that whatever refractive error is, happens when the child is born, all these natural refractive errors disappear by 4 or 5 years of age. तो आपको 5 साल से पहले कोई इंटरवेंशन नहीं करना है. ऐसा नहीं आपके पास कोई बच्चा 3 साल का है, 4 साल का है, उसको वाटरिंग हो रही है, ये हो रहा है, स्क्विंटिंग हो रही है एंड ऑल दैट. इवन देन वेट फॉर emmetropization to occur. Wait for emmetropization to occur. So wait up to 5. Nothing is going to happen. The heavens are not going to fall. Amblyopia होगा, सब ठीक हो जाता है. Of course, in very rare cases, when you have a lot of anisometropy and all that. Now, what happens when these refractive errors do not disappear? अपना रोल अब यहाँ आता है. Now we are coming to whatever the refractive errors are left out, which have not emmetropized or which are now developing. So we talk of hyperopia first. Children who maintained more than 3 diopters of hyperopia after the age of 3 years, normally 3 years में ये जैसे 1 साल में हो जाता है, अगर 2 या 3 का होगा तो 5 साल के अंदर हो जाना चाहिए. Maximum 3 साल, maximum 5 साल. So when they are born with more than 3 diopters of hyperopia and it remains after 3 years of age, it's more likely to develop esotropia, the accommodative esotropia. Children with uncorrected bilateral isometropic high hyperopia, ये सारे आपको terminology समझ में आनी चाहिए. You should see. Isometropic means both eyes have the same refractive error. Have poor visual acuity. Studies have shown that in bilateral isometropic hyperopia of 5 diopters or more, even at 6 years, 50% have loss of vision. I mean, decrease of vision, 612 or 680. There have been lot of cases in my practice of so many years which I have dedicated to pediatric ophthalmology. And you see, children come with 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, they have 6, 7, 8 diopters of hyperopia and they have loss of vision. Now, bilateral isometropic hyperopia has no treatment. It's not an amblyopia, it's not a bilateral amblyopia also. आप उसको कोई पैचिंग नहीं कर सकते, डायकॉप्टिक नहीं दे सकते. The only thing you specs and let it develop naturally. The vision let it develop. Such children have poor accommodation. देखिए, because accommodation नहीं काम कर रहा है. आप समझते हैं कि in children the accommodation is flawless. 1 साल के बच्चे में 20 का होता है, 5 साल के बच्चे में 18 का होता है, 7 साल के बच्चे में 14 का एम्पलीट्यूड होता है एक अकोमोडेशन का, 20 साल के बच्चे में 10 का होता है, 30 साल में 8 का होता है और 40 साल की उम्र में आते आते अकोमोडेशन आपका 4 का रह जाता है. But if you have a hyperopia of 6 or 7 or 8, even in a 5-year child, इतना स्ट्रेस पड़ता अकोमोडेशन में कि the eye does not accommodate. यही amblyopia में होता है. When you have an anisometropic changes. So then we go to astigmatism. The visual system is not very sensitive to astigmatism, they in the first year of life, but after that uncorrected bilateral astigmatism of more than 3 diopters अगर वो रह जाता है, particularly oblique, results in meridional amblyopia. With every diopter increase in astigmatism, there is loss of one line of visual acuity. There is also loss of grating acuity, vernier acuity, contrast and exterior. These are all hyperactivities, acuities, because you go to higher levels. Then an isometropia. Both eyes have different refractive errors. one diopter of, ये देखिए, ये बहुत ध्यान से सुनिए, because this is very important. This is going to be the basis of your correction. One diopter or more of uncorrected spherical hyperopic anisometropia. You understand this? Causes amblyopia and other related visual disorders. Two diopters or more of spherical myopic anisometropia causes amblyopia. 1.5 diopters or more of cylindrical anisometropia, whether it is hyperopic or myopic, is amblyogenic. So this is the basis of your correction. Any child which comes to you of मतलब one diopter of uncorrected hyperopia, तो ये बहुत sensitive है. Hyperopia के लिए आई इज वेरी सेंसिटिव. इवन ऑफ वन डायप्टर डिफरेंस, किसी में 4 है, किसी में 5 है, अगर 2 है या 3 है, वन डायप्टर, इवन वन डायप्टर डिफरेंस ऑफ स्फेरिकल हाइपरोपिक एनासोमेट्रिया इज एम्ब्लायोजेनिक. 2 डायप्टर्स ऑफ मायोपिया इज एम्ब्लायोजेनिक एंड 1.5 डायप्टर्स ऑफ astigmatism is embryogenic. So you have to be very, very particular, and you have to be. Then myopia. Bilateral isometropic myopia, again of less than 4 diopters. देखिए, we are talking of now this isometropic, we are not talking of anisometropia, वो तो अपन ने बात कर ली पहले. So bilateral isometropic myopia of less than 4 diopters up to the age of 6 years is not amblyogenic. आप पैनिक मत कीजिएगा, घबराइए नहीं. एकदम से बच्चा आया 5 साल का बच्चा -3 का, और you start jumping on that, don't do that. Or nor it causes any visual disturbances of higher order after 6 years. But देखिए, because we have a cutoff age of 6 years. After 6 years the child uses both near and distance visual acuity. बिकॉज अभी 3 साल 4 साल 5 साल का तो प्ले स्कूल में जाता है, खिलौने से खेलता है, डिस्टेंस का उसको इतना आइडिया नहीं रहता है. बट व्हेन ही स्टार्ट्स गोइंग टू स्कूल and it starts seeing on the board, that is where the distance vision comes into play. So after 6 years the child uses both near and distance visual system, and uncorrected myopia not only hinders his visual activities but is a stimulus to progressive myopia. Any myopia developing before 5 or 6 years of age is going to progress. Remember that. And then we have to do the other modalities for to control progressive myopia. Now antimetropia, ये किसी किताब में नहीं दे रखा है, ये किसी किताब में नहीं, सिर्फ मेरी जो किताब एक पब्लिश हुई उसमें है. So one eye is hyperopic, other eye is myopic. This is antimetropia. Results due to unequal or disparate emetropization between the two eyes. This is a complex situation, and visual disorders have. Now after 7 years of age, the embryogenic age has gone. ये एक कट ऑफ लाइन आपको हरदम याद रखनी है. After 7 years of age, the embryopic age has gone, and most of the refractive adjustments are complete. मतलब जितना ही मेट्रोपाइजेशन होना है, एस्टिग्मेटिज्म का 4 साल तक 5 साल तक, हाइपरोपिया अगर ज़्यादा है तो भी 5-6 साल तक, एंड दैट इज whatever has happened. So what do you do now? So the management is now directed at treatment of the damage which has been already done. So what you do, you have to treat the amblyopia, management of asthenopic symptoms and headaches occurring due to refractive errors, the art of managing spectacles, and management of progressive myopia. Now how do you manage? मेरे को टाइम बता देना. Now management of refractive errors in children is more of an art than a science. Now how do you manage hyperopia? Now we come to the other part. How do you manage hyperopia? Now hyperopia of 3 diopters or more after 3 years most probably will not emetropize. So to treat or not to treat. Now सो व्हाट हैपेंस, आपके पास 7 साल का 8 साल का बच्चा आता है और उसको हेडेक्स हो रहे हैं, सिम्टम्स हो रहे हैं, प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही है, ऑकुलर स्टेनोपिया हो रहा है, तो क्या करेंगे आप? साइक्लोपिक रिफ्रैक्शन आपने किया. नाउ विद चिल्ड्रन विद सिम्टम्स ऑफ हेडेक्स, एस्थेनोपिया, हेडेक्स एंड एस्थेनोपिया डिफरेंट, आप ये भी समझिए. एस्थेनोपिया सिम्टम्स आर डिफरेंट एंड हेडेक इज डिफरेंट. एस्थेनोपिया सिम्टम्स में ब्लरिंग हो जाएगा, आँख का वाटरिंग होगी, इरिटेशन होगा, your eyes would become red. These are asthenopic symptoms. What is known as tired eyes, and headache is a different thing. Blurring हो जाना, need correction. So अगर उसको symptoms होते हैं बच्चे को, 7 साल का 8 साल का 10 साल का आपके पास आता है, उसको symptoms होते हैं at hyper, because you see again we come back to the same thing. 8 साल का बच्चा है, 8 साल का बच्चा 14 डायप्टर का एम्पलीट्यूड अकोमोडेशन का क्या दिक्कत होनी चाहिए? Please sit down. You can ask later on, and you can compliment me later on, please. ये तो all life this is what I have been doing, don't worry. I am already a president of the National Society of Pediatric Ophthalmology and Strabismus, but don't worry. We'll talk later on about. So it needs now symptoms usually arise after 5 years of age. Examination of such children have shown that multiple types of visual defects, most importantly decreased visual acuity. This decreased visual acuity is due to the lack of accommodation and initiation of amblyopia. आप लोग हरदम अपना समझते हैं कि बच्चों में तो अकोमोडेशन इज फ्लॉलेस, इतना एम्पलीट्यूड है कि फ्लॉलेस. नो, देर आर 4 टाइप्स ऑफ डिफेक्ट ऑफ अकोमोडेशन इन चिल्ड्रन. 2017 में मेरा गेस्ट AIOS की जनरल में मेरा गेस्ट आर्टिकल था ऑन अकोमोडेटिव एनोमलीज इन चिल्ड्रन. आप कभी पढ़ लीजिएगा, अगर 2017 की उसमें जाइए, दिस अ बिग आर्टिकल. देर आर 4 टाइप्स ऑफ अकोमोडेटिव एनोमलीज इन चिल्ड्रन. और बहुत सारी जो प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, सो मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स एंड एवरी टाइम द चाइल्ड एंड द पेरेंट्स आर गोइंग फ्रॉम पिलर टू पोस्ट कि उसके प्रॉब्लम ठीक ही नहीं हो रही है, उसको हेडेक्स होते हैं, वाटरिंग होती है, रेड. यू ऑलवेज थिंक ऑफ रिफ्रैक्टिव एरर्स, कभी कोई आधा ज़्यादा कर देता, कोई आधा डायप्टर कम कर देता, कोई एक कम देता, बट यू हैव नेवर टेस्टेड फॉर अकोमोडेशन बिकॉज इट इज़ नेवर टेस्टेड, बिकॉज अकोमोडेटिव एनोमलीज इज नेवर टेस्टेड इन अ क्लिनिक. आई एम वेरी सॉरी टू से. Even in my medical college, all my, I'm retired now from this and colleges, but we didn't, because we had no instrument for that. अभी बहुत सिंपल RAF इंस्ट्रूमेंट आता है, आप उससे टेस्ट कर सकते हो, वेरी सिंपल, सब जगह मिलता है. Now as the child grows, the symptoms increase due to the increased demand on accommodation. स्पेक्टिकल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन हैज़ टू बी टाइट्रेटेड. देखिए अब यहीं आपका आर्ट आता है. द स्पेक्टिकल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन हैज़ टू बी टाइट्रेटेड डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द नीड ऑफ डिस्टेंस एंड नियर वर्क. 6 डायप्टर का हाइपरोपिया है एक 8 साल के बच्चे में, 10 साल के बच्चे में, लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स इज हैविंग. लैग ऑफ अकोमोडेशन है. इसके बाद उसको देखते हैं. लैग ऑफ अकोमोडेशन मीन्स द अमाउंट ऑफ अकोमोडेशन विच शुड बी इनएफिशिएंसी, इनसफिशिएंसी भी समझ लीजिए. लैग मीन्स एक पर्टिकुलर लेवल के बाद अकोमोडेशन काम नहीं करता उसका, तो उसके इसके आगे दिखता ही नहीं है. फिर हेडेक चालू हो जाते हैं, एस्थेनोपिक सिम्टम्स चालू हो जाते हैं, और सब जब रिफ्रैक्टिव एरर में की तरफ घूमते रहते हैं. बट वी नेवर टेस्ट फॉर लैक ऑफ अकोमोडेशन. दैट हैज़ टू बी करेक्टेड. सो नाउ बायलैटरल आइसोमेट्रोपिक एस्टिग्मेटिज्म. लेट्स कम टू एस्टिग्मेटिज्म. बायलैटरल आइसोमेट्रोपिक एस्टिग्मेटिज्म. आप सोइए मत भैया, ओ भाई साहब, आप आँख खोलो यार. नहीं समझ में आया तो अभी खोल के तो रखो आँख यार. So bilateral isometropic astigmatism, मतलब both have same astigmatism. एक दोनों का एक, दोनों को दो, whatever it is. Now, the management of this bilateral isometropic astigmatism depends upon the age of presentation. देखिए, hyperopic और myopic presenting symptoms. What are his symptoms? हाई एस्टिग्मेटिज्म है क्या, एंड क्रिस्प विजन. अब देखिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात है. A child will come to you with a lot of symptoms, you know, मतलब 2-3 का उसको astigmatism है, he will have a lot of problems, you know, amblyopia भी हो सकता है, bilateral amblyopia भी, you know, that is mean is ametropic amblyopia is also common. Now the question arises because ये मेरे पास बहुत सारे पेशेंट आज भी रेफ़र होते हैं, सारे राजस्थान से, एमपी से भी, इधर से, बिकॉज यू नो ये कहते हैं कि साहब 3 डायप्टर का एस्टिमेटिज्म है, छोटा बच्चा 7 साल का कैसे लगाएगा चश्मा, 3 डायप्टर का एस्टिमेटिज्म, को जमीन टेढ़ी मेढ़ी दिखेगी, उसको ये दिखा वो दिखेगा, कैसे लगाएगा चश्मा. नो, you see, you have to correct the full astigmatism and the child will gladly accept that, क्योंकि क्रिस्प विजन बहुत ज़रूरी है. मतलब सी वंस यू हैव गिवन हिम अ गुड विजन, आपने उसको 6 विजन दे दी है, वंस यू हैव गिवन हिम अ गुड विजन, you know, the symptoms automatically alleviate. So don't worry about the amount. Even 6 diopter का अगर आपके पास कोई hyperopia भी आता है, some give full correction. Myopia का there was a symptom when I was a student while doing my post graduation. मेरे प्रोफेसर बोलता 8 myopia, no 6 दो कम. हम तो समझते नहीं थे. You see, in residency, you know, whatever, because you know the professor used to be the Lord. Whatever says is, you know, is written on stone. But when I did my fellowship from United States, my whole thinking changed. So crisp vision is very important. आप उसको पूरा correction दीजिए. समझ में आ रहा है? Then anisometropia. Now this is a critical situation. After 5 years of age, correct fully more than, ये तो अपनी पहली बात हो चुकी है. Then myopia. Again a very tricky area, you know. Before 3 years, myopia up to 2 diopter or more, undercorrect as e-metrobastion is still occurring. अगर आपने उसको करेक्ट कर दिया और इमेज आपने रेटिना पर डाल दी, आई तो फिर भी बढ़ रही है 4 साल तक, 3 साल तक, 4 साल तक, और आपने उसको वहीं रोक दिया. So it is a deterrent for e-metropization. So remember this. After 5 years, fully correct myopia. After 5 years, correction of less than 0.75 is controversial. Now this is a big controversy. This is a big controversy कि 0.75 myopia 5 साल की उम्र में अगर आपने डिटेक्ट किया, एक्सीडेंटली ऑल्सो, 6 साल में तो बच्चा आ ही जाता है कि अगर बच्चे समझदार होंगे कि वो अब टीवी के पास जा रहा है, you know, that is a very good indication, you know, because parents come, most of the parents say कि साहब टीवी बहुत पास जाके देखता है. That is a hint that he is having some refractive error. और आपने रिफ्रैक्शन किया, साइक्लोप्लेजिक 0.75 का मायोपिया आपने दिया 5 साल के बच्चे में, 6 साल के बच्चे में. Will you treat or will you not treat? This is a big controversy. Last year there was a national symposium myopia in IOS में, मैं चेयर कर रहा था उसको, and there was a lot of questions कि 0.75 diopter को आप करोगे कि नहीं करोगे. And I said you have to treat, because 0.75 of myopia at 5 or 6 years age is going to progress. So you have to treat. Antimetropia. आपने कभी इसको ना देखा होगा ना सुना होगा. Antimetropia is uncommon, an extraordinary condition. Minor disparity is not of concern, but large disparities create multiple problems like amblyopia, even bilateral amblyopia, asthenopic symptoms, vertigo, disorientation. Management is complicated and cumbersome. I'll just give you an example. Now this is a girl. She has -1 in one eye. Minus 1%. She's still under my treatment. Is coming from Ajmer. She has 1.5 estimate in one eye and plus 1.5 and -8 in the left eye. Now you can see the specs. You can see the specs here. You can see the specs. This is, you don't see the, and here you see the, you know, thick lenses in the periphery. प्लस 1.5 डायप्टर का राइट में है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, पूरा करेक्शन दे दे, फाइन. लेफ्ट में -8 है, आप कैसे करेक्ट करोगे? ये बच्ची है 8 साल की. So the method of आपके पास भी आएंगे, you know, in life you will get these if you are doing pediatric ophthalmology and you know, अब देखिए इसमें कोई pediatric ophthalmology का सवाल नहीं उठता. Even any ophthalmologist must treat children also. Must treat children also, that's why. अब इसका ट्रीटमेंट ये करता था कि 6 घंटे ये राइट आई खुली रहती थी, जब लेफ्ट आई को खुली रखना तो राइट आई को मैं ऑक्लूड कर देता हूँ 6 घंटे के लिए, so that you don't develop amblyopia in the left eye, because -8 you develop amblyopia. So this is what he's been doing for last 3 years चल रहा है. जब ये 12 साल की ऊपर होगी मैं इसको लेफ्ट में कॉन्टैक्ट लेंस दे दूंगा. Everything is clear. Now poles of refraction. Now we go to the, we go a little fast. Now refraction is again an art, and you have to understand, refract in the line of vision. पेशेंट को अपने आप इधर दिखाइए, अपने नाक की तरफ दिखाइए साइक्लोप्लेजिक. यूज एज अप्रोप्रिएट साइक्लोप्लेजिक. पोस्ट साइक्लोप्लेजिक इज इंपॉर्टेंट. गिव फुल करेक्शन और एक्सेप्टेंस, बिकॉज बहुत हाई हाइपरएपी में एकदम से एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं होगा, बट देन यू हैव टू गिव द बेस्ट सब्जेक्टिव करेक्शन. Care in high astigmatism, no refraction without cycloplegia, even in 40 years patient. Now, when considering its spectacle prescription, now considering its spectacle, now we come to spectacle prescription. आपने सारा कुछ देख लिया, refraction कर लिया. Now, what spectacles you will give? The following questions should be considered. Is the refractive error within the normal range of child's age? 4 साल के बच्चे को -1 का एस्टिमेटिज्म है, ई मेट्रोपेज हो जाएगा 5 साल में, तो कुछ मत करिएगा अभी. विल दिस रिफ्रैक्टिव एवर एरर ई मेट्रोपाइज, ये जैसे कोई बच्चा 4 साल का भी आता, कई बार पेरेंट्स ले आते हैं, तो यू हैव टू. विल दिस एरर डिसरप्ट द नॉर्मल विजुअल डेवलपमेंट, दैट इज इमेट्रोपाइजेशन अगेन. विल प्रिस्क्राइबिंग स्पेक्टिकल्स इंटरफियर विद द नॉर्मल प्रोसेस ऑफ इमेट्रोपाइजेशन, वही आ गई बात. When prescription spectacles is required, is crisp vision more important than elevation of symptoms? We already talked about it. Will the child accept glasses? बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन है. मैंने आपको पहले भी ये बात बोली थी कि माँ बाप आके बोलते हैं सब 5 नंबर का चश्मा 6 साल के बच्चे में 7 साल में नहीं लगाया, नहीं लगाया. बट यू विल बी सरप्राइज, दिस विजन, जब विजन इंप्रूव होती है, क्रिस्प विजन आती है, सबसे पहले बच्चा उठते ही चश्मा मांगता है. सबसे पहले सुबह उठते ही he uses glasses. Now, as an indispensable aid to refraction, cycloplegia should be used as follows. In all children compulsorily up to 18 years of age, no refraction without cycloplegia. Manifest refraction not compatible with vision up to even 21 years of age. You have to do a cycloplegia. Whenever refraction yields variable results on your autoref, you must do it. Symptoms of ocular, बंद कर दे वो. Symptoms of ocular asthenopia irrespective of vision. This is a very common. जब हम रेसिडेंट थे, even afterwards, vision 6/6, नहीं आप न्यूरोलॉजी में जाइए, विजन 6/6 नो रिफ्रैक्टिव विजन जाइए. एंड व्हेन यू, मेरी तो उसमें तो मैंने तीन रेसिडेंट को थीसिस करा दी इस पर. 6/6 विजन है, रिफ्रैक्शन किया, +1 का एस्टिमेटिज्म आ रहा है, -1.75 1.5 का एस्टिमेटिज्म आ रहा है, माइनस बच्चों को इतना विजन का आइडिया नहीं होता है, बट ही हैज द चाइल्ड हैज सिम्टम्स. सो डोंट रिलाई ऑन विजन. Always do a cycloplegic refraction whenever there are symptoms, complaints. Suspected extraocular muscle imbalance, of course. In infants and children where vision is difficult to assess, आप विजन पर मत जाइए, कि माँ बाप बोलते हैं सब एक बार और पढ़ा के देखो, सब एक बार और पढ़ा के देखो. अरे भाई देख लिया मैंने, एक सेकंड लगता है, ज़िंदगी हो गई मुझे देखते हुए, अब क्या. बिकॉज दे डोंट एक्सेप्ट कि बच्चों को 4 लाइन नहीं दिख रही है, 5 लाइन नहीं दिख रही हैं. अरे साहब अभी तो कई बार ऐसा कंफ्यूज हो जाता है, छोटा बच्चा है. ओके, सो आई नेवर रिलाई ऑन विजन इन अ चाइल्ड ऑफ लेस देन 8 years of age. आई नेवर रिलाई. डू अ साइक्लोपेजिक रिफ्रैक्शन. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी अलग हो जाएगा. एट्रोपिन का बेसिक लास्ट में बता, एट्रोपिन का देखो ध्यान से सुनिएगा ये बात. 1% ऑफ एट्रोपिन कंटेन्स 10 मिलीग्राम पर मिलीमीटर पर एम एल. ठीक है, 1% of atropine means 10 milligram in 1 ml. ठीक है, there are 10 drops in 1 ml, that means 1 milligram per ml. ठीक है, so 1 drop in each eye yields 2 milligram of atropine to the eye, 1 gram each में. This is 4 times the adult parenteral dose. 0.04 होती है इंट्रामेरस जो आप एट्रोपिन देते हो कभी में. Therefore, only 1 drop in each eye should not be exceeded. एक बार डाल दिया, 10 मिनट बाद फिर डाल दिया, 10 मिनट बाद फिर डाल दिया. No, atropine is not used like this. Or if you have anything, give atropine ointment. To sum up, understanding children's complaints, I can take 1 minute more, है ना? Undertakes secondary refraction irrespective of vision. Hyperopia should not be taken for granted that due to high accommodated amplitude, no symptoms will arise. With hyperopia of more than 3 diopters after 3 years of age, symptoms can occur for near. Accommodative lag should be tested in such patients with dynamic retinoscopy. आपको ये भी करना आना चाहिए. Anisometropia should not be neglected, and if treated, symptoms arise. Astigmatism, special meridional, in any measure should be corrected at any age. Treatment of low grade myopia is controversial. Spectacles ये आपको मैंने बता दिया, चलिए ठीक है. Now respect people who use spectacles, wear glasses. They have paid money for these spectacles. Thank you very much. By the way, just a minute, I have 3 books on pediatric ophthalmology. One is on refractive management of refractive errors in children, published by JP Brothers in 2016. बहुत अच्छी बिक रही है मुझे. The second is in 2018, which I published by again JP Brothers, on visual anomalies in children. Last year, a big textbook, more than 600 pages, comprehensive textbook on pediatric ophthalmology has been again published by JP Brothers, Clinical Pediatric Ophthalmology and Strabismus. And that is a lot of medical colleges in the library में है, आप JP Brothers से ले सकते हैं वो. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. The surgical management of these refractive errors. He's got his own hospital, and he's from Jaipur, and one of the leading LASIK surgeons in this country. Dr. Virendra Agarwal, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. I don't have any financial interest into this talk, but because just for the completion, the topic is given like a pediatric refractive surgery. But as such, in my personal opinion, it does not have much of the space in today's world, because we have many options by which it can be corrected. As Dr. Shukla sir was talking, that many of the things, and particularly amblyopia, is also close to my heart. To prevent amblyopia, in some situations you require a management of anisometropia and isokenia and prevent the amblyopia. But frankly speaking, pediatric LASIK or the laser vision correction for pediatric refractors is not very common worldwide. Some of the papers are there which are very encouraging, but if you put all other efforts to take care that a child does not develop amblyopia or the amblyopia gets treated, you don't require many of the things. But definitely the refractive errors should be corrected to the best, with the understanding and depth that the why and how and why you can prevent amblyopia and treat amblyopia. And this situation, especially when there is a lot of anisometropia which causes many other things into it, comes into play. Dr. Shukla sir's last slide was very impressive, that the time was there when people using glasses or wearing glasses were not being seen in good sense, and many comments were there. But now there are types of glasses, the looks of glasses, and majority of the people are wearing glasses, so it is not a odd man out, and the glasses can be accepted. The only situation comes when the parent themselves don't understand the glasses is required and why they are required. And that's why it should not be taken into like this, that the parents comes and says the indication for jumping into the refractive surgery that my child is not ready, he or she is not happy, he or she starts crying, he or she says that I will not eat. I say the other way around. If he is not cooperating, she is not cooperating, don't take care of them for 2 days. Even 2 days is very long period. If the mother does not give food to child of when the child is not ready to wear glasses, he will start wearing glasses 24 hours. And this is a practically I have seen in many, but the problem, like particularly for India, what happens, the grandparent says to the parents that why you are troubling a child, what is the need of glasses. So it is our duty to make them understand that if they don't wear the glasses in time, what is going to happen. But this should not be an indication to jump into a refractive surgery. May I know who are doing some refractive surgery here? And if anybody is there who is willing to get a refractive surgery done for their own child in the age when he is not scientifically fit. I have many reasons of not doing the refractive surgery into it. I will not go in detail, but I will enumerate some later in my talk. The contact lenses is a very good option, which we feel is not a good option, but now hygiene is better. Majority of the people understand the importance of hygiene, and if you for some reason cannot give glasses because of anisometropia, a lot of things are there, then start thinking for contact lenses. But first choice should be glasses. First choice should be glasses with the understanding that how much to treat, as Dr. Shukla sir has emphatically emphasized, that how much hypermetropia need to be corrected. There are different schools of thought that you need very high undercorrection in children for hypermetropia will also be acceptable. But the child who has to put some other efforts and might be having some accommodation anomalies will not be very comfortable. We take it like granted that when I was a student, that up to 4, 5, 6 diopter of hypermetropia, if you don't treat, it will not have any bad effects. But when we are sitting here, if air conditioning is off, will we die? No. But we will be comfortable if it is on. The similar way, if you give full correction or a very good correction, the child will be at comfort. When he is at comfort, his mind will work, his mind will grasp whatever he is seeing. Thing is simple. What you see, you will learn. So how comfortably you see, you will learn. How comfortable you are getting the information without thinking and putting a special efforts to see, it will make the change. But the definite situations are there when the refractor is very high, be it a hypermetropia, myopia, or the difference causing anisometropia. So these are the conditions where it may be required. But of the present situations of laser vision correction techniques, I feel personally afraid of using them. But definitely to provide and develop better binocular vision, they need to be addressed. And these address, my first choice should be glasses. When it is beyond the capacity and capability of glasses to maintain the binocularity, then use contact lenses. And in very rare situations, you may jump into the situation where you go for a surgical corrections or support. But there are conditions where it is difficult because of autism, palsy, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and very strong resistance for occlusion therapy. Though occlusion therapy does not take care of binocular vision in majority of the patient, rather it is a negative point because it dissociates the two eye to develop the weaker eye. So we want to give a is equally visual input into both eyes, and for this reason that patients are not going to amblyopia, we may choose to use the refractive surgery. There are different surgical options, you all know, the LASIK, surface ablation, SMILE, ICL, and refractive lens exchange. The last one should never be ever be used for a child. There are many things, but I will not go in detail of each procedure because you all know the refractive surgery is now very popular surgery, and though it is not a cosmetic surgery, but majority of the people, including us, also think that it is a refractive surgery which is a cosmetic surgery. It is not a cosmetic surgery. It improves, it helps to maintain a good visual functioning, and visual functioning does not mean simply seeing at a distance, simply seeing a simple colors, but at what comfort you can carry on your life for a routine and for your work, your living, your earning. So these are the things. There are different regions of surface ablation to be used and not to be used in children. Surface ablation, the biggest advantage, you are not making flap. In other procedures, you are making a flap. Smile is a flapless, bloodless, but healing is very fast, very uncontrolled, and the healing is a big issue for surface ablations because of unpredictable healing responses. You may have a haze which may be excessive and causing the quality and quantity both goes down. But the most important thing which I have written just simple word ectasia, and I will like to elaborate on ectasia. At refractive surgery in pediatric, when you consider that it is going to be at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years kind of thing. And that time, how many of you have seen a keratoconus? I think none. So that is the reason that you don't know what is the future of a child. The child who is going to develop keratoconus at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 may not have any signs. And if at all, if there are some signs, because those patients are not being investigated in routine for their pachymetry, topography, pentagram, or these kind of things, from where we can pick up the some red flags that the patient can go and develop keratoconus. So because we don't have any study for it, we don't predict that who will go into ectasia, and if ectasia is not going to develop, but we incite something into the cornea by which he can develop ectasia, his life will be at a problem. We are able to manage the ectasia, we are able to manage the keratoconus, but that does not mean that we try to do something which can be a problematic for a child. We all know the keratometry changes, we all know the corneal thickness changes with the age, we all know that just by simple habit of rubbing the eyes, keratoconus can develop. How can you prevent somebody not doing this? There can be some genetic factors. The keratoconus is not always genetic. So my apprehension for keratoconus is so much giving me a pain inside and panic into my mind that we should not use the refractive surgery. And for this reason, I always say, don't use the tool if you have a tool to treat, but it is not fit for everyone. So if you have a laser, and does not mean that you can go and do the laser refractive surgery to everybody. You have to restrict. When we started laser, the cutoff age was 18. Now it is a minimum 20. When we started 25, 27 years ago, the LASIK was not very well known. So the concept was that you leave just 200 micron of residual stromal bed and it will be sufficient. We have done that patients, and many of them are not having any problem. But if somebody has developed a problem, it was not required. So my concept is that refractive surgery should not be taken like this, that it can be done and used for everyone, and particularly just to remove glasses in a child because child is not ready. You have to find ways how to do a thing. But if at all somebody has to do it, it should be a perfect counseling done, and counseling does not mean selling. It should be clear there is a sale and there is a counseling. The selling should not be there even for adults, but at least for children it should be on the reverse side, that you should try to convince the parents that don't go for refractive surgery, go for glasses, contact lenses, and supportive management, continuous close contact with the pediatric ophthalmologist. I am using the word here pediatric ophthalmologist for the particular reason that a routine ophthalmologist will not have a patience and time to give it to the parents to discuss for 20-30 minutes, sometime to counsel them that what is the importance of wearing the glasses first, proper glasses, and then not going for the other means of correcting or removing the glasses. It should be very clearly known, documented, and you should preserve that consent that the risk of ectasia was explained in detail, and what all complications, if happen, are not because of the surgical reasons or of the doctor. Because if somebody comes and later sues you, it will be a problem. The parents have give the consent, not the child. We accept that he is not in a legal age to give consent, but when he become 18, 20, 25 and develop some complication, he can sue by simply that I was not able to understand, my parents have given the consent, I don't believe that they were intelligent enough. Now the time is changing, so take care of full legal precautions for yourself. They should give, like routinely we say, the consent should be informed consent. But for cataract, what we do? We are going for phacoemulsification, that's all. We are not providing and giving information enough in document at least about the SICS or ECC or ICC, or of not getting a surgery done, what are the plus minus at the vision of 618. But the informed consent include all these things. But for a refractive surgery in a child, it should be very clear that what are the options available. So plus and minus, I am not going to very detail of the how the surgery, if at all to be done, how it is to be done. There is a definite role of anesthesia, there is a definite role of centration. If you don't treat in center, the algorithm you induce on the cornea to correct the refractor may induce enough irregular astigmatism which may cause blurring of vision and problem into the vision. The iris registration, which is a good tool for having the treatment on place where we want cyclotorsion, which is very common in normal also, but after GA you can't control it. And the cyclotorsion, if you take astigmatism correction by refractive surgery, it may not be actually accurate and it may be very offset, and 10-degree rotation, as we know in toric lenses, will lead 30% loss of the toricity. But here we can have a lot of problems because of decentered ablation, because of not having the on axis treatment, and the quality and quantity both may not be appropriate for the purpose for which we wanted to do the correction. The aim of correction was to develop the quality of vision and quantity of vision. If quality is poor, the quantity will not help and support in mental development, though he may be reading on sentinel acuity, so it should not be the aim. So my request and suggestion is that it should not be taken as a resort at all, but it can be a last resort with a very positive concept in your own mind that we should not be trying to convince ourselves and parents to get this surgery done. Proper counseling is very, very important. Proper documentation, consent taking is very important. Out of the all other procedures, surface ablation may be better than other procedures, and very important to have a follow up, because child may still develop amblyopia just by correcting one refractor part, if it is because of anisometropia or because of difference in two eyes for a high astigmatism. Then the proper treatment required for amblyopia prevention and treatment of amblyopia is a must. Thank you very much. I'll be happy to have questions if you have any.
Now we have still 10 minutes, so we can have some question answers. Yes, young lady sitting here. Hello. You were asking something, so please, yeah, go ahead. We have 10 minutes time for that. Eh? Oh, I'm sorry.
Language was the issue.
I'm so sorry. Language are concerned. But I hope. Ha, Rama. Yes, yes, please. Very good morning.
Yes, I have a few questions to ask. One is in a adolescent person when we are increasing the myopic correction because the previous lens was not giving a full correction and the child comes back
एक
because
सेकंड ये माइक नहीं चल रहा है बेटा इसको ऑन करो.
in a adolescent child person the previous glasses were not giving a full correction, so when we increase the myopic correction and the child comes back and says that now I cannot read the book, what to do? We have to decrease the number, and but the vision now, the distant vision is now not 6 by 6.
नहीं, but what were amount of numbers which was given before? How
So
many?
there are many patients, so I don't remember the
No,
numbers.
no. अच्छा. देखिए normally तो ऐसा होता नहीं है because
Many times it has happened, so I had to decrease the accommodative correction, I mean the refractive correction, and
spoken the answer.
yeah.
Answer is simple.
So,
If
but the
somebody is
distant vision
myopic-
is not 6 by 6 now.
No, no. Answer is very simple. Somebody who is requiring -5,
Yeah.
he has been given -2, -3, -4. Whatever number of under correction is there, he is not using his accommodation. And because he is not using accommodation in routine, the moment you give full correction, he has to use or she has to use accommodation.
That is okay, that I
That
understand.
is very simple. You ask him to wear those glasses for few days and can have a rest from the initial study period for 1 day, 2 day. Within very short time, they develop
I
this.
had to decrease the numbers.
No, if you decrease, then it will
नहीं
come
नहीं
back the
नहीं
same.
देखो देखो मैं रमा तुम्हें बताता हूँ देखो सी देर आर टू थिंग्स एक तो जो वीरेंद्र ने बोला वो बात भी ठीक है बिकॉज ही माइट बी अंडर करेक्टेड बिफोर ओके एंड ही हैज़ नॉट बीन यूजिंग अकोमोडेशन सडनली यू गिव द फुल नंबर बट अंडर करेक्ट आप करोगे तो उसकी विजन तो करेक्ट होगी नहीं मायोपिया में तो बहुत सिंपल है
Yeah.
बिकॉज मायोपिया में तो कोई अकोमोडेशन का हाइपरोपिया में तो अपन मान लेते हैं कि भाई द पेशेंट इज अकोमोडेटिंग विजन 6 भी हो जाएगा ज़्यादा तो देयर शुड नॉट बी अ प्रॉब्लम बट ही वॉज ओवर करेक्टेड बिफोर मे बी जहाँ वो ओवर करेक्ट होगा उसको फिर एस्थेनिक सिम्टम्स आने लगेंगे
No, no,
Because
I
आप
gave him the
अंडरस्टैंड
full
ना
correction, 6 by 6.
आप अगर ओवर करेक्ट करोगे मायोपिया को इट इज वेरी सिंपल इफ यू ओवर करेक्ट मायोपिया you see the vision you see the image goes behind the eye
No, I
retina.
did not overcorrect, but I
no
had to
previously it might be over
No, it was under. I mean, the number was less. I had to increase because the vision was not 6 by 6 with the previous glasses. लेकिन जैसे ही number दिया जो actually required है, वो patient was not comfortable with those glasses.
साइक्लोप्लेजिक रिफ्रैक्शन करके दिया आपने
नहीं.
no साइक्लोप्लेजिक रिफ्रैक्शन इज द मदर ऑफ ऑल ट्रीटमेंट बिलीव मी आप बिलीव मैं तो 40 साल के भी कोई मेरे पास पेशेंट आता मैं साइक्लो रिफ्रैक्शन करता हूँ सबसे पहले अभी मैंने तो उसमें लिखा था कि एक तो 21 तक तो है ही बट एनी पेशेंट कमिंग टू यू एट एनी एज फर्स्ट टाइम आपके पास आता है साइक्लोप्लेजिक रिफ्रैक्शन करिए
So the typical thing, I'm going to just share one quick point here is that typically at that age, we always say the kids eat minus, you know, so they want more minus, they keep wanting more minus. So that is why what sir was saying, cycloplegic refraction is I think the...
See, I do retinoscopy in all my patients. So I do not
Still it
rely
would
on
be-
AR readings. So
Yeah.
whenever I try to give a refraction, I start from a lower myopic number and I
Yeah.
gradually increase it till the child can read 6 by 6.
देखो तो तुम्हारा आंसर बहुत एक लाइन में मैं कहता हूँ कि कोई भी बच्चा है साइक्लोप्लेजिक रिफ्रैक्शन कीजिए
Okay,
इवन
understood.
21 इयर्स
Understood.
और आप जब ये अगर आप रेटिनोस्कोपी करती हो
हाँ.
तो आपको क्या मालूम पे वो बच्चा कहाँ देख रहा है
नहीं मैं I ensure that
No, no,
वो
that's
जिस
not-
तरह से देख रहा है. I always do retinoscopy.
Duochrome test,
Yeah.
you know, so I always do the duochrome test where you kind of check you're over minusing or not.
योर करेक्शन यू चेक योर करेक्शन
Still-
बाय डियोक्रोम
But still when patient eat up the myopia, he will go into a limit from which after that he actually feel symptomatic. The another thing, check for the convergence. The third thing, check for the centration. When you increase the myopia correction or hyperreduction, the centration also become important. If it is giving some prismatic
Yeah, that I
effect,
also always check. I
if
get
it
it
is
checked
giving
always.
prismatic effect,
Yeah.
But otherwise the simplest is that the patient who are not using accommodation, when they start accommodation,
That I understand.
they
but
goes
like
out
in
of
wo-
relax zone.
Yeah, I
So the
understand.
moment
this
they go
thing.
out of relax zone, you give some time, take care of some diet also, and then they will improve.
स्पेक्टिकल का मैंने आपको बोला था कि दैट्स इट्स अ वेरी बिग थिंग आप मेरी जो किताब है उसमें दीजिए फुल चैप्टर ऑन स्पेक्टिकल करेक्शन आई मीन प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ स्पेक्टिकल्स उसमें क्या है कि आप कभी नहीं बोलते हो कि देखिए -4-5 तक तो कोई जहाँ 4 से 5 से ऊपर जाता है फिर आपको प्रिज्मेटिक इफेक्ट का बहुत बड़ी इम्पोर्टेंट है
yeah.
समझे ना वेरी वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम आजकल बड़े बड़े चश्मे लगा के आते हैं बच्चे है ना सेंटरिंग है नहीं मतलब उसमें क्योंकि आँख के अंदर है और वो है जहाँ सो दिस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट द साइज ऑफ स्पेक्टिकल्स पेंटास्कोपिक टिल्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है पेंटास्कोपिक टिल्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट स्पेशली इन सिलेंड्रिकल करेक्शन
Same way, it is good that you are doing retinoscopy, so I am sure that astigmatism is being taken care well.
तो
Otherwise,
आप सब लोगों को एक बात हाँ
otherwise what happens, sometimes you are giving a spherical equivalent of astigmatism. That also will increase the border.
यस आपको जितना सिलेंडर है देना पड़ेगा यू डोंट वो ज़माने जब पढ़ते थे ना जबकि आप उसमें -13 ओ सॉरी +13 आ रहा है +14 इफेक्ट के करेक्शन है और 3 का सिलेंडर है तो आप स्फेरिकल इक्विवेलेंट दे देते थे बट नॉट नाउ एनी अदर क्वेश्चन
I've got 2 more questions.
अच्छा
So one question is, how do you explain the child being
Diation,
yeah,
emetopiation.
in -2 diopters? How does it happen?
No, it will
No,
not
no, no,
happen.
no, no, it
So
will
you
never
were-
happen.
there was a slide in which you had written.
Okay. No,
मैंने
it
क्या
must be
मैंने
for
मैं-
hypermetropy.
नहीं हाँ हाइपरमेट्रो होगी
नहीं, -2
मैंने आपको
लिखा है
एक
सर
एक-
आपने।
सबसे पहले मैंने आपको बोला था कि चाइल्ड इज नेवर बॉर्न मायोपिक पहली चीज तो
No, it was in one
सुनो
slide, sir.
नहीं नेवर बॉर्न मायोपिक तो मैंने बड़े बोल्ड लेटर्स में लिखा है
लिखने में हो गया, that is why, okay, okay.
Sorry,
So
maybe,
there was
but
in one slide.
and
And
then-
another question is, if a child is having minus 0.75 and school में उसको कोई problem नहीं है, so is it necessary to give that correction? Minus 0.75.
देखो ये बड़ा कंट्रोवर्शियल है, ये चीज़ मैंने आपको बताया लास्ट ईयर जो नेशनल सिम्पोजियम उसमें बहुत डिस्कस हुई थी, बट आई पुट माई फुट डाउन, आई सेड कि नो, आई वाज शेयरिंग दिस सेशन, बट आई सेड कि 5 साल से पहले अगर माइनस मायोपिया डेवलप हो गया है, इट्स गोइंग टू प्रोग्रेस, इट्स गोइंग टू प्रोग्रेस, ये तो देयर आर hundreds of studies on this, it's going to progress.
So will it help the?
नहीं, you should, you know, you should.
What we say is the patient who is engaged in near vision activity, not engaged in distant activity. The simple reason maybe he is not seeing that clear. So any amount of myopia, if you start correcting initially, he will have an interest into distance activity also. And that may be a preventing a further progression of myopia or at least slow down the progression.
देखिए आप 0.75, 1, इवन 2 का अगर मायोपिया है बच्चों को, है ना, और वो चश्मा नहीं लगा रहा, वो जो बाद में जब आएगा दिखाने तो बात अलग है. व्हेन ही कम्स टू यू सी द चाइल्ड डज नॉट नो, क्योंकि ही इज बॉर्न मायोपिक, तो उसको लगता है कि मेरी जो दुनिया है वो यहीं तक है. आप समझे ना, उसको 6 और उसके बियॉन्ड की दुनिया का मालूम ही नहीं है. उसको लगता है कि मेरी दुनिया वहीं तक है तो मेरे को ठीक दिख रहा है. वो तो जब वो स्कूल जाता है, देन व्हेन ही स्टार्ट्स रीडिंग, और जब पेरेंट्स कंप्लेंट करते हैं कि ही गोज़ टू नियर टू द टीवी टू सी, then it should you know give a signal, alarm signal to you, red flag है वो.
So
करेक्ट करो. मैं तो इसी मैं वो तो मैंने किताब में भी लिखा है कि you should correct.
Two more things I have to say.
Yes.
One is many times the hypermetropic patient does not accept the full correction. So ऊपर से नीचे तक आते हैं and whatever number gives a good 6/6, that is the way I give a hypermetropic.
मैंने स्लाइड में बोला था सब्जेक्टिव करेक्शन.
Yeah.
सब्जेक्ट देखो, लो हाइपर होप तो आपके पास आएगा ही नहीं कभी, है ना, बिकॉज ही इज अकोमोडेटिंग इनफ लाइक दैट. दिस द प्रॉब्लम ऑकर्स व्हेन द हाइपरोपिया इज मोर देन 5. बहुत मेरे hundreds ऑफ पेशेंट्स, यू नो, 6 है, 7 है, 8 है, बायलेटरल हाइपरमेट्रो आइसोमेट्रिक हाइपरोपिया है, उनमें सिम्टम्स आते हैं फिर. तो वो आप मैंने आपको कितनी बार बोला था, यू हैव टू लुक एट द सिम्टम्स. You have to look at the symptoms and give the best subjective correction.
And one more thing, sir, JOs को एक करना चाहिए कि गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से ये there should be a compulsory that every child.
अरे राम
ये
राम
तो सर-
राम राम.
Okay.
मैं
We have to finish this session because we are on time.
any one question, last
Virendra.
question. हाँ,
I have one question
Next session can come on.
Suppose-
एक second, last question.
for you. Suppose anyhow we are not successful in getting corrected by glasses or by contact lenses. What should be the minimum age to do surface ablation?
हाँ भैया, minimum age to do surgery.
Because suppose child is not using glasses and we are unable to pursue him. What should be minimum age for the surface ablation?
No, it depends. It will depend on the amount of refractive error also. It will depend on refractive error. If it is just a difference of 2, 3, 4 diopters between 2 eyes, don't go for it. If it is around 10 diopters or so, then the earlier is better. Because there are some reports, as I was saying to Dr. Rama also, that if you correct the myopia in an early age, the myopia progression may be slowed down.
Refractive error is -3 with -2 cylinder.
No.
One eye. Other eye is -1.
No, this anisometropia and isokenia is well tolerated, so just give glasses.
Patient is not ready to use glasses.
No, then give contact lenses. Do occlusion enough. Do occlusion without even glasses.
Without glasses.
Yeah.